How do you start a business glossary and build up content? You want to start by importing any existing glossary content that you might have around your organization, any definitions from standards organizations or any sort of community definitions that might be out there. Then identify 10 to 20 critical reports and document those reports to find all the data definitions in them. That's a really great way to like suss out some of the really good definitions that you have, both functional and technical. You might also look at some things like your data warehouses or other things and promote some key data model items to glossary entries because you might have like really involved analytical information in a data model item and you want to promote that. And remember, when you do that, it needs to be an agnostic definition, but you've got the technical definition. But it's a good way to find things that are out there. And then moving forward, just create definitions as needed for new data requests. Other options to use, but with caution, are this concept of basically like working from a list of definitions in a meeting. But it's our opinion that it's very inefficient. It creates a bunch of burnout, and also you get poor definitions because you're kind of working hypothetically as opposed to working on an actual request for data that's out there. Another thing is to continue to document old reports in order to create more definitions. I think once you get past 20, 30, 40 reports that you're going to document to pull things out, people don't like to look back that much. And if you just look forward to things that are getting created new to build definitions, you're in a much better shape. It really depends on your organization, though. As you move forward, the best glossaries are just organic. They're going to continue to grow and change. So you build definitions over time when needed. Again, avoid those hypothetical definitions. Just every time people ask questions or need things, they go. So that includes, when you need a definition to build something new, we have a report that someone's asking for, your COVID cohort, but that's not defined, so you need to come up with what that means. When you have a report that exists already, but there's questions on it, so it needs to be curated, and someone needs to create definitions on that. When you're trying to create a new standard for something or a new KPI, key performance indicator, if there is a disagreement on meeting or something, it's a good time to go ahead and work on that. If you're working with something on your own that you need to engage a steward with to get approval, you might as well go ahead and add to the glossary. Or when you have sort of a commonly used data model object and want to promote it to the glossary. So something that, again, like in a warehouse or whatever that you're using a lot for analytics that has a lot of calculation and logic, and it makes sense that we should have a glossary entry to define this thing. So again, I recommend this just-in-time approach as opposed to the committee approach or the go back and document everything over time. And if you do that, you're going to hit a content tipping point, and that's your goal. Your goal is not to document everything, but the goal is to document enough that people get excited to use it. And sort of Wikipedia was like that. There was a lot of like big, heavy users who got stuff going, but the casual user didn't really get involved until there was enough content there, and then a whole bunch of smaller contributors who contributed like 1 to 5 entries did. And the same thing works here. So if there's enough content that people feel like they're working in an environment where they've reached that tipping point and they're sort of adding to something, it's much more helpful.